If you were here expecting me to cover things like how Microsoft can't actually fix Microsoft Outlook Classic without actually calling support, well, you would be wrong. I'm not going to cover this. Who needs to know that Microsoft Exchange, you have to actually call the online support team to actually get your security vulnerability fixed? Nobody wants to know that. And nobody wants to shame a large company like that publicly on here. So I'm definitely not going to cover it. It's not something that I'm not into that type of drama. So you can go somewhere else to find this exact type of coverage. But what I am going to cover that you might want to know right now is this security update. If we've been talking about making a game, we will be making a game. I've gotten all the dominoes in place. We'll be playing around with it, probably really starting to work on it next year. If you're wanting to do that and you're looking at the three big players are Godot, which I think is the top of the list for just about everyone, non-biased review there, Unity and Unreal. Well, Unity had a pretty big CVE that I thought you all should know about because it's actually kind of terrifying for your users. So what this CVE is basically remote code execution through the Unity runtime. This Unity runtime is the thing that lets them charge you for every runtime so if you're not up in the controversies, they wanted to charge you per runtime that's installed, basically, which was absolutely ridiculous. How to Get Fired in 10 Days is a book you should read. That's how that CEO is making his money nowadays. But this is a pretty terrifying CVE because basically it allows any app that a person would install on their phone to execute any code under the Unity permissions. And Unity games actually request a lot of permissions. So it allows untrusted code, and even worse, it can allow untrusted code through the web browser because you can play Unity games in your browser and it can obtain the permissions of your browsers, which usually have quite a bit of permissions. So that all being said, it's pretty serious for your end users because this runtime will just run any code that's passed into it. If you guys want to read the write-up from it, I actually found this really, really good. This is the person that wrote it. I actually wished Unity doesn't have to do this. They did a good job of the executive summary here. And they actually said who did it, but they didn't link. I wish they had linked to the actual write-up here because they go into depth of how they did it. And this was specifically on Android that they did it. And it was pretty cool how they hijacked it. It's actually really simple. I'm like, oh man, I could actually do what they're doing here. Like, this is not some we've covered some where you have to time things and then they just do it like a billion times because they want to get the timing right, where they send a packet and then they got to send the other one and it has to, this code execution has to be in the right place when you get this one. And if that happens, you can do the thing. This is simple. And it was cool. So kudos to them. Now, that being said, if you are on Unity and you have released a game, you need to patch and you need to update because as far as I can tell, this actually is an issue forever and always in Unity. So basically they patched it in all affected and still supported versions all the way back to 2021. This is the last supported version. I assume that if you released a game before 2021 version, it's probably also affected. It's just not in their support anymore. Now, if you have a highly played game that's still out there, I know that there's licensing fees and stuff, and it's not always great with Unity. There's the hard conversation you have to have of whether you're going to upgrade to 2021.3. I'm not even sure they allow you to upgrade to that. You'd probably have to upgrade to the 6003, and whether that even works with your game, I don't know. But that being said, it's probably affecting your version. So anyways, so Android has code execution and escalation of privilege, whereas Windows, Linux, and Mac have just the escalation. I say just the escalation of privilege, not the code execution. And it's still pretty rough. Not gonna lie. Anyways, so I just thought you all should know about that.